Welcome back. So, we're gonna be doing another full day of eating. Today, we are Sunday, leg day, and we are pretty much halfway through the diet. So, I am currently in my health phase. So I thought, whilst I'm in my health phase, I'm just gonna utilize this time to drop a little bit of body fat, and sort of prime myself ready for the next push. So, yeah, as of current, we are 4 weeks into the health phase. And like I said, this is the second week of the diet as well. So yeah, things are moving good. I'm looking at 197 pounds this morning. So far, I mean, I started the diet at 202. So it's like almost 5 pounds down in 2 weeks, which is very, very good. And obviously my physique is sharpening by the day from doing that. So I literally cannot complain there. You'll see my food is obviously much lower through the day, especially where we were at the beginning of the off season. But obviously the goal with this diet is obviously to get lean, yeah. But it's also just to bring my food down as low as I can, to be honest. And then when I start pushing up, I can push up minimal food. So eventually I haven't got to push it back to that like 900 gram carb mark. Not that there's a problem with eating that much, but eventually eating that much, it will have a toll on your waistline, your gut, digestion. So ideally you want to grow off the least. You know, more amounts of food isn't better, because it just puts more inflammation, more stress into the body for to digest. So ideally, we want to be growing off, as little food as possible. So yeah, the changes that we've made, obviously I've dropped food, and I've upped my cardio to 4 times a week at 20 minutes. So in the off season, I just run it at 3 times 20, but now we are doing 4 times 20, and then just the same 10 to 12,000 steps. The food has been reduced quite a fair bit, and you'll see that across the day. But right now, we'll get meal 1. Eggs just cooking, whey and berries are ready. Just gonna get my supplements ready now. All right, meal number 1. So 3 whole eggs, 150 sourdough, and today we got lucky. I got a double yolker. Now, because I'm not in a prep, I'll happily have this double yolker. This extra 5 grams of fat isn't really gonna ruin my day. 45 grams of whey iso, 100 berries, and then all the sup. So omega, vitamin C, vitamin D3, K2, turbocholine, proviron, vitamin stacks, so like multivitamin, NAC, magnesium, zinc. So I'm going to talk into this. Cosmo. All right, so pre and post going down. Chicken is in for pre and meal 5, and then my rice pudding is being made now. So I'll make this and then I'll put it into the fridge. Well, I'll actually put it into the freezer, let it cool down, add the whey, and then I'll take it to the gym to eat directly post. Obviously, it's been a while since I've had rice pudding in stock, so I was running either 2 chicken and rice meals, or I was using Rice Krispies or cream of rice. I think in the previous one it would have been Rice Krispies post-workout, but now obviously we have rice pudding back, so the same sort of setup remains. Chicken and rice pre, and then rice pudding post. So made that now, so 100 grams of rice pudding post with literally about 200 mils of boiling water, and then make it and then just whack it straight in the freezer, only for about sort of half an hour, and then I'll put it in the fridge when I get to the gym. Right then, boom, intro workout. 25 grams of hydro load. This is the unflavored version as well, just so I can sort of limit, any sweetener, just protect digestion as much as possible, as these EAAs for me aren't the easiest to digest. So obviously I want to limit as much sweetener as I can. 20 grams EAA plus here, and then an additional 10 grams of creatine. Obviously the morning drink today was 10 grams of creatine, 10 grams of glutamine. So this tops me up nicely. This will be sipped sort of halfway between post-workout. Chicken still cooking, almost finished, and my rice is pretty much finished as well now. Post-workout now, so 100 grams of ESN rice pudding, 1 gram pink salt, 1 gram low salt, and then 75 grams of whey isolate as well. So we've got Leon cereal there as well. For me, number 1, alongside milky hazelnut, and then cinnamon cereals and like 3rd as well. So yeah, I'm not pushing the post-workout too hard at the moment. With dieting, I don't really feel the need to. A lot of people will say push the post-workout, pre-workout really hard for recovery purposes, but at the end of the day, it's what you eat across the entire day. Your pre and post-workout isn't that important. Obviously, you want them a little bit larger than your other meals, but they don't need to be. So my post-workout is just a regular meal. It just has low fat, so it gets in the system quick. And don't get me wrong, this is still not like a small meal, you know, 110, 120 grams of carbs alongside the carbs from the intra as well. It's still not a small meal. So yeah, 75 grams of whey, 100 grams of ESN rice pudding, and then we'll do 100 berries and 50 banana as well. So yeah, almost time for the pre. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Pre-workout time. So 150 rice, 175 chicken, 100 banana, 20 almond butter, 2 grams of pink salt, which fucking hell, we are out, and then 1 grams of low salt as well. So yeah, I'll eat this whilst finishing this morning's YouTube video from breakfast, and then it'll be a case of cracking on and getting ready for legs. So last session was extremely productive. I have reset a lot of my movements, so like my execution is pretty much textbook across every single movement now. I have dropped the lows slightly on the leg press and the Atlantis pendulum as I'm doing it sleeveless, but they are still like superb sets. And one thing that I've noticed is the execution difference is obviously one massive, but the connection I'm getting on my quads from the difference of the difference I'm getting off the quads with the improved execution is phenomenal. So yeah, we'll keep that running, and I think my legs should show like a good amount of ETOTL from doing that. So yeah, pre-workout time.
Shout out to Austin, and I highly recommend if anyone ever struggles.
Out on a little digestion walk after that meal. So a big thing for me with sort of going into this health phase / diet is to basically just get really get on top of my routine and my process, and just make it sort of as the 1% as I can, if that makes sense. So making sure that I'm, you know, just upholding myself to a really good standard. You know, making sure that I walk after every single meal, making sure I don't eat and then just sit on the sofa, or, you know, sit on my phone or something like that, which sometimes you can definitely get complacent whilst you're in the off season. So literally just a 5-10 minute walk just after each meal. You know, especially after like your post workout meals, I think definitely warrants like a little bit of a walk, even pre and post, to be honest, just to keep the GI moving. Yeah, absolutely beautiful day today. Must be about 15 degrees or so. And I know the drive to the gym is going to be immense. I love driving to the gym in this weather. Windows down, music blasting, trying to race every car on the road. It's just a lovely feeling. But yeah, legs today, I know it's going to be a superb session. And I think at the start of next month, so like 2 weeks from now, I'm going to get booked in with Chris as well, to get an updated leg day filmed as well, which will be mega as well. So yeah, like I say, 5-10 minute walk now. It's so nice. I've got the shorts on, I even got the calves out, which is a very rare appearance myself. But yeah, get ready for legs now. All right, pre-workout going down. So we've got 20 grams of Crank Pump Pro, and then 35 grams of, well,
person over here, this is OBM.
leg day. Let's fucking go, boy. All right, we are back from legs. What a good session. Absolutely immense. So I actually swapped the exercise selection around a tiny bit. So I put the pendulum before the leg press. So today I got 5 plates sleeveless, paused on the first set for 5. I did go for the 6th, but I didn't get lucky enough to get that. And then 4 times 10. And then my back off, and then my leg press set was 10 plates for 10. Again, sleeveless, getting as much ROM, as much sort of control in that change direction as possible. And the pain that I'm feeling on my quads from doing that it's immense. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think by the end of like, let's say 2 months, 3 months of doing this, I think my quads will look a little bit different. Even just looking like at my legs post workout, the fullness that I'm getting around the knee is way better. And also I'm getting 0 knee pain as well, which is a good thing. So I've already eaten the post, which was 100 rice pudding, 75 whey ISO, 100 berries, 50 banana. I ate that at the gym. I've been home for like hour and a half now. I'm just cracking on with a little bit of work, and then it's going to be meal 4 time. But whilst I'm here, I thought I'd run you through sort of the current timeline that we've got for this diet, health phase, and sort of what's to come next. So obviously, as you know, I ended this cycle. It was the first week of March. So considering today is the 22nd or 23rd, you know, we are like well over 3 weeks in this sort of health phase now. So what I did initially is I took obviously the cycle straight down. So I'm using 100 milligrams testosterone E a week, split that between 2 injections. I'm not microdosing at the moment because microdosing 100 milligrams over 7 days is pointless. So I'm pretty much doing 2 jabs of 50 milligrams. Also alongside that, I'm running 25 milligrams of Provine, which I keep year round, and then 375 milligrams of L-carnitine on just training days. But I think from tomorrow I might just put it in every single day just to rinse the amount of the most amount of benefits from it as possible. So yeah, what we did is initially I went to maintenance. So I did go up to 205 pounds, that was peak, but it didn't stick. Within like the week I was back down to like 202. I got up to 205 very quick, and then like I flattened out quite quick and I got down to 202. It was also after an off-plan meal as well, so it wasn't like a solidified 205. So what I did is, if you look at my tracker, pretty much from week number 24 of the cycle I was 201.7, then week 25 I was 202, week 26 I was 202.5, then I went to Venice, obviously whilst maintaining my body weight, 202, week after 201.9, and that's when I started the diet, which was last week. So on my first week in the diet, and I'm 197 pounds on average this week. I'm looking to get down to like 190 pounds, so another like 7 pounds across the next 3 weeks. Might even extend it a little bit as well, because I might get my bloods done in the start of April, just to give me a little bit longer off, and then obviously just sort of get a little bit leaner, get a bit tighter, and then what will happen is I'll reverse out slowly, and I'm looking to say if I finish the diet at 190, over the sort of course of my next push, which will be 26 weeks on cycle, then I'll look to sort of, you know, get my bloods done again and see where I am. Like, you know, see where I am at that point and see if it's worth pushing on or to pull back. Hopefully at that point I should be about 215 pounds. So over the course of like 26 weeks, I would have put on pretty much 25, 26 pounds. So looking for about £1 a week. I do not want to get fat, you know, too quick. I want to get fat when I'm at like that 35, 40 pound push. 35 to 40 pounds of like up in the push. But the plan is obviously to get my bloods done at the start of April, but that will be like week 7, week 6, week 7 of the health phase. Then obviously looking at that, obviously I'll then go back assisted. I get my bloods done 7 weeks on, just to obviously have a look where things are, because obviously I do struggle with my estrogen a little bit as well. Like I am a high aromatizer, so I will look at my things then, and obviously if everything's all good, you know, I'll know what to bring up. But yeah, get my bloods done at 7 weeks, then I'll probably get them done like halfway through, and then I'll get them done at the end as well. So yeah, that is pretty much the setup. If you want to look at food, we ended the peak off season at 900 carb, 60 fat, 310 protein, and then maintenance I went down to 650 carb, 55 fat, 300 protein. So I kept protein the exact same. I've actually upped it a little bit, if I guess, because obviously I've lost that a little bit of trace carbs. Pulled down fats by 5, and I took down carbs by pretty much 250. And then week 1 of the diet, I went from 650 carb to 550, 50 fat, and then 300 protein. And whilst I'm on this topic, I don't think I'll have to make any changes across the entirety of this, you know, next, let's say 3 weeks dieting, purely because the first week I lost 4 pounds, and this morning was followed by a new low as well, by another 2 pounds from yesterday. So I won't have to make any changes, but I don't want to. You know, one change should be more than enough for like a full week diet. Like I said, cardio is at 4 times 20 minutes. So I'm doing that every single rest day, and I'm doing it for 20 minutes on upper day as well, fasted. And then on the rest days, they are pretty much in the evening. Steps are between 10 to 12,000, and yeah. All right, so meal number 4 going down. A little bit of Netflix. We've got 225 chicken, 100 grams of raw weight rice, 100 pineapple, 25 mushroom, 25 broccoli, and then 35 grams of avocado as well. 1 gram of pink salt and 1 gram of low salt. Right now, a little treat. It's actually been so long since. So for the first time in a while, like I specifically went to the shop to get a diet drink. Now, throughout the off season, I don't really have one. I don't have them ever. Like, if we go for like dinner, I won't even finish one. But today I just really fancied one. Now, we are now meal prepping for work tomorrow. So the rice and the chicken. So when I go to work, I just take 3 meals. So meal 1 is whey, and then my 2 meals are literally the exact same chicken and rice meal. So whilst they cook, I'll relax, watch a little bit of Netflix, start editing this, and enjoy my Pepsi Max. And then once that's cooked, I'll put the veg in, chop the pineapple, and do all that sort of jazz. But yeah, probably see you guys at meal number 5. All right, so meal 5 is cooking, so I thought I'd run through the evening sup. So same as always, 12 grams sleep, 2 magnesium, 2 zinc, 2 omega. Actually, there's only 1 omega there, so I need to get another one. 2 omega, 2 curcumin. Sorry, there's 1 curcumin. 2 magnesium, 2 zinc, 2 vitamin C. So I'll drink that whilst it's cooking. Got the potatoes in there. Yeah, so one thing I wanted to sort of change in my diet is just sort of make it a little bit more like whole food based. I realised like when I'm in the off season I get pretty lazy, and I was utilising a little bit more whey than I would sort of like. So I've sorted that out. We've now got sort of like I guess 1.5 whey meals per day, and then like 3 meat meals. So this meal would usually actually be beef, but when I went to the shop to grab the beef, they only had 20%. And obviously as it's Sunday, you know, it's not like I could go to like Tesco or something to grab it. So chicken is gonna have to do today. I'm just cooking it a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna have the dark chocolate alongside it, just to sort of account for the fats that would have been in the beef. So yeah, I'll see you when the meal is cooked. All right, meal number 5 going down then. So we've got 500 white potato, 50 veg from peppers and mushrooms, 225 grams of chicken, 50 kiwi, 50 blueberries if you can see them in there, and then 10 grams of dark chocolate, and then 1 gram of low salt, so no pink salt pre-bed, basically just to stop me pissing through the night. But yeah, that is the totals of the diet. So we are on 534 carb, 50 fat, and 310 grams of protein. As always, thanks for watching. I'll try and keep it like a little bit closer to the next YouTube. It just depends on how busy life gets. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.